The one adjustment I make is the total market cap of gold is 11 trillion. Okay, total market cap, and we're about $500 billion in Bitcoin. Half of that gold isn't money; it's jewelry and chalices and gold leaf and stuff that isn't really used as a monetary base. So that half is 6 trillion. That's a 10x from here. Current price of 30, 10x is 300K. Okay.
Take it.
300K to me is so easy. We don't even have to debate.
The CEO and founder of ARK Invest, Cathie Wood, reaffirmed her previous price estimates for Bitcoin, the largest cryptocurrency in the world by market cap, earlier this week during an interview with Bloomberg Television. Wood predicted that Bitcoin was on track to reach the $1 million mark at the latest by 2030 last year, despite the numerous failures and broad crypto contagion. She revised that forecast early this year, calling for a more significant shift to $1.5 million per coin for the most valuable cryptocurrency asset. According to Cathie Wood and ARK Invest, one of the 5 main innovation platforms that are currently merging and are expected to grow rapidly over the coming years is blockchain technology, and Bitcoin is at the center of this technology. She briefly mentions her forecasts for Bitcoin's price during her interview with Bloomberg, as well as how a new crisis in the banking industry may hasten our arrival. Here are more snippets from the interview.
We went to a bear, base, and bull case. So our bull case is, I think it's 1.5 million. The base case is 625,000, something like that. Now, one reason we've actually internally, our confidence has increased towards the bull case is because of what happened during the regional bank crisis in March. What happened? Bitcoin, so as regional banks are going bankrupt and the stocks are imploding across the board for the KRE, Bitcoin rallied from 19,000 to 30,000. Why did that happen? That was a flight to safety. That is the insurance policy that we are talking about, that we believe everyone will want at the end of the day. Insurance policy against 2 things: confiscation of wealth, either directly or by inflation, or in the deflation world, what is it a hedge against?
Right.
It's a hedge against counterparty risk. We won't have an 0809 with Bitcoin. Everything is decentralized and transparent. No obfuscation.
The $1.5 million Bitcoin projection has prompted Mark Yusko, the founder and CEO of Morgan Creek Capital Investments, to respond and make a bullish argument for the most popular digital asset. Yusko asserts that he is hopeful that Bitcoin will reach 6 figures per coin in a recent interview with Scott Melker. He claims that the most valuable cryptocurrency is equivalent to digital gold and predicts that it will easily surpass half of the market capitalization of gold at the moment. That would result in an 887% price rise over current levels, bringing the cost of a single Bitcoin to almost $300,000. Although Yusko's forecast is far more cautious than Cathie Wood's, he acknowledges that Bitcoin could and will eventually rise significantly due to its several benefits over gold. We'll now show you some excerpts from Mark Yusko's interview. Please take a moment to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and enable post notifications for more content like this.
The math of Bitcoin is pretty easy, right? We take the total market cap that we think is achievable. We divide by the number of coins that are still in circulation, and you get a number. And everybody fixates on that number. But I always think it's the wrong number, right? Because it's in our currency. So you and I both know 1 Bitcoin is 1 Bitcoin. It has been the entire time. That's what we're trying to move toward, is a world where Bitcoin is the unit of measure. What we're talking about here is dollars per Bitcoin. And that price that everybody fixates on isn't so much Bitcoin getting better. It's actually our money, right, the dollar, getting worse. It's, like trying to buy a cup of coffee that used to be a quarter, now is $5 or $6. It's the same cup of coffee. It does the same thing. It delivers the same amount of caffeine, unless you put whatever Cathie's putting in hers. So anyway, the math of just pick a number, 500K, 600K. Let's do that math together. Where does that even come from? Well, if you have a base case that the market cap of Bitcoin should roughly equal gold's market cap. Okay, yeah. A reasonable assumption. If we say that Bitcoin is digital gold and it plays the role of base money, right? Money, as we know it, is really a small thing. It's gold. And Mark, what do you mean? I use cash. No, that's debt. That's a currency, but it's not money. Money is an asset that exists in the absence of a liability. The only thing in the world that does that for 5,000 years is gold. Now people have dabbled with other stuff, but ultimately all the other stuff that we think of as money is backed by debt. It's currency. And that's why it ultimately devalues and ultimately inflates away, and why in the history of the world there have been 775 paper currencies. 3/4 of them no longer exist. I mean, they literally went away. And the same is happening in real time to the dollar, which is why Larry Fink, like not exactly, Joe from some, Twitter handle. We're talking one of the most powerful people in the world, manages, he's in charge of a company that manages close to 10 trillion with a T dollars, said that you should put some money in Bitcoin, in my ETF, of course, that will protect you from devaluation of the currency. I mean, he actually said it. 300K, to me, is so easy. We don't even have to debate, because the idea of Bitcoin being better than gold as a store of value, as a unit of account, as more portable, like I say all the time, if I had a bar of gold, which maybe at my other house I do, but if I had a bar of gold and I wanted to break it in half and send you half, I'm not strong enough to break the bar of gold, first of all. Second, I couldn't stuff it in the computer to send to you. I want to send you some Bitcoin. I punch a couple buttons and you got Bitcoin.
We're done.
So that's a superior store of value and medium of exchange. So I believe Bitcoin gold equivalence is a no-brainer. Now, when? Tomorrow? Next day? I don't really care. Sometime in the future, that's easy. So that's that 300K number. There's a 4-year cycle, and there's going to be a 4-year cycle because it's coded into Bitcoin. Every 4 years, the block rewards get cut in half, and therefore, one of two things has to happen. Either a large number of the miners have to go bankrupt because their costs are basically fixed, or the price has to rise. And that's a pretty cool thing, because what happens is as the price rises, it attracts attention, right? Movement attracts attention, right? And like if someone, like if my son or daughter were to, move across the frame in the back, I would look, because that's what, we hunters do. And we follow movement. And so what happens every 4 years is we have these seasons. And today we're in crypto summer. Well, what is crypto summer? Summer is the period leading up to the halving, the year before the halving. And what does that mean? Well, that means we drift from below fair value. Okay. Now, why are we below fair value? Well, because we had winter 2 seasons ago that pushes the price down. Well, why does winter happen? Well, because people freak out because of the parabolic top in the previous fall. And then we go through spring, which is kind of the bottoming process. That ended, I think, from June to June. And now we're back in summer. Well, if the Metcalfe's Law model that Tim Peterson, that I use, says fair value is 55K, investors, people who buy things below fair value, that's what an investor's supposed to do, would be accumulating Bitcoin here, right? If the price is 30 and the fair value is 55, you would be a buyer. So as that happens, it slowly accretes toward fair value. When the halving occurs, suddenly the price has to rise a little faster. Well, now that draws in speculators. Well, what are speculators? Speculators are people that don't care about the fair value. They don't care about the price. They just want to make money. So they're drawn to the movement. Well, so in the fall of the cycle, okay, the year following the halving, what you get is increasing velocity and increasing interest. The media comes in, you got lots of clickbait, and suddenly it starts to go parabolic. Well, here's what happens. Toward the end of that cycle, that fall period, you get the leverage. And the leverage is what causes the parabola. And that's true of look what's happening in stocks right now. Why are stocks going like this? Why is Nvidia going like this? Leverage and short selling and short covering. That's what it is. There's no chance that Nvidia is worth, in terms of value, its current price.
I agree.
Just not possible. It's not mathematically possible. It's a great company. They make great products. They're going to sell a lot of chips to people thinking that AI is going to change the world, even though AI is not new. It's a 55-year-old overnight success story. And, we're all not going to be replaced by ChatGPT. I got news for you. But that's not the point. The point is leverage. Margin debt is accelerating again. And so leverage is causing prices to be crazy. So we're in a parabolic blow-off peak in stocks, I believe. And we will have another parabolic blow-off peak kind of late 2024. Halving happens April, May. By the end of that year, we'll be in the parabolic. But fair value, when we hit 60, the model said fair value was 20. It had been up to 30, and it had fallen to 20. Because remember, transaction volume fell, and everybody was afraid. And so we got to 3x because of the crazy Binance 100 times leverage and all the stupid stuff. And that's fine. In the previous cycle in 2017, we got to 2 times fair value was 10. We got to 20. Okay, that's fine. So this time, fair value will accrete according to the model. If things stay the way they are, fair value will accrete to around 100K.
What are your thoughts on Yusko and Cathie Wood's Bitcoin forecast? Do you believe we will reach the $1.5 million mark by 2030, as Cath predicts? Please provide your thoughts and insights in the section below. Also, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and set on post notifications if you want to see more videos like this. Thank you for taking the time to watch.